welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. So I'm talking this whole time and you didn't hear me. That's pretty fun. Awesome. Let's start over then. we're we're 3-4 minutes into this. I love it. I was not muted, but I didn't have my soundboard on, so that's fun. Boomering it, you know. Aaron says maybe I'll find sound 30 minutes in. I was 4 minutes in, okay? 4, not 30. But anyway, Evelyn's here. Brenda's here. Brian's here. We're drinking coffee. Again, there's the Nescafe Instant Espresso is here. Wow, that makes me feel really, really dumb. Whoo! Maybe I need the keto brains. I'm not hearing myself, or you guys aren't hearing me. You know, that's okay. You know, it's fine. Nothing like feeling amongst family and friends. At least I know you guys are going to be, super nice and comforting about it, Brian's here, Evelyn's here, Charlie's here. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. Sandy, we love Jeff. Jeffa's in the house. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Andy, for letting us know that I have no sound. Oh, Bacon Baby's in the house. She's letting me know that we don't have any sound. Charlie says, I can read lips, but it's harder when also walking the dog. Oh my goodness. How come I can't hear anything? Says Aaron, Miss Booby Goats. And John Gugahan is in the house. And Aaron says, dude's preaching the greatest stuff ever said, and we'll never get to hear you. It's like, in Forrest Gump when he's going on and they cut the mics. Yeah. Yeah. Charlie says the beard also makes it hard to read lips. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be interesting if everything went right each time, right? Oh, Sandy's telling Aaron to get the wax out of her ears. Andy's again telling me that we have no sound. I better hope that we fixed that by now. And John says I was running late this morning, and I thought it was okay. Dustin is usually a couple minutes late anyway. But of course, you were right on time, but I was inaudible, so there's that. Oh, my goodness gracious. I need the coffee, Tanya. I need the coffee. I was talking for 4 minutes. People couldn't hear me. Andy said, check the chat's the first thing to do. I was looking at the chat, and I was only like 4 or 5 minutes behind. Could you imagine? Sometimes an hour behind. Whoo. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about today anyway. I'm going to be, using you guys and leaning on you guys today. I sat down to set this up last night, and I just did, and some nights I just have, I start writing all kinds of stuff down and making all my lists and checking it twice, and I've got so much to talk about, but today is just not one of those days. All right. Lisa's in the house. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Oh, as Sandy says that we still love you. I'm so glad. Oh, Patricia says we are super nice. I'm so glad. And John, Mr. Gugahan says he's having some keto brick this morning, half primal fudge, half peanut butter. That sounds. I love what keto brick is. I love what everything Robert Sykes does and all that. I just can't. I just can't handle the taste is terrible. It's awful. I don't like it. Miriam says, "What? I can hear you just fine. For the first 4 minutes, you couldn't. So if you're joining me now, nothing happened. It was nothing at all. Anyway, happy Sunday. Love you, Andy and Susan. What would a Sunday be if Susan couldn't hear me and if I was just going on and not hearing me and she's just rolling over in bed, snoozing Susan. She needs a Garbage Pail Kid card. I tried to make a Garbage Pail Kid card the other day with ChatGPT, but it wouldn't do it. I was going to be something like Bustin' Dudston or Bustin' Dustin or something like that, but it wouldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll try again later. Andy said she texted me on my phone. Your text was hidden behind. So at one point in time, Facebook Messenger and SMS messages were one and the same. You can operate them together. And then I had too many text messages and too many um Facebook messages or whatever all combined. It just was so slow, it wouldn't work well. I think that's back when I had my I think that's either on my Note 2 or my Note 3. And they split them apart, and then they made it to where they're not combinable again. So now I have these chat heads on my phone. So I've got the little things, and it pops up, and sometimes they pop up behind each other, and I don't see them right away. And she's like, "No sound. Fix your mic, Dustin." Well, yeah, but you were hidden behind a chat head of you were hidden behind Facebook Messenger. So yeah, that's fun, super fun. Oh my goodness. Lisa says, "I've been having pork belly and noticing the return of foul gas. Guess back to beef, butter, and eggs." What I mean, so what are you putting? I mean, what are you putting on the pork belly? Is it just? I don't know. The pork belly is delicious. Just have some sometimes, you know. Susan's snoring, but she'll hear me soon enough. Yeah, I should hear you in a while. Yeah. Well, Mr. Googahan's trying to flatter himself. I don't know what you're trying to get out of me, but he's like, Dustin, at least you're so good looking that just watching you without sound is a treat. Wow, I never thought I'd hear that come from anybody's mouth, but here we are. I love it. I love it. Just smoked salt. I don't know. I like pork belly. We don't eat it too often. And Sandy says he has a kind face. I'm going to look like Santa when I'm older, so I don't know what's happening here. I'm going to be that guy who's going to look like Santa. Can't believe it. So, our ice machines, we've been using a countertop ice machine for a while. And it died this week. So now we don't have any ice in the house because we have a Samsung fridge. I bought a combo set from Costco like I don't know how many years ago. It was a refrigerator, stove, oven combo with a dishwasher and a refrigerator side by side, or like the side by side, the French doors with the pull out freezer, and then the oven hood microwave. So it was like a 4-piece thing. So it was the fridge, the oven stove, the microwave oven hood thing, and then the dishwasher. And the Samsung is comically bad when it comes to the ice machine. There's like class action lawsuit out there. I don't know whatever happened with that. But the ice machines just don't work. So we've been using a countertop ice machine, and it just stopped. I mean, it's run for like 2 hours straight or whatever. And yeah. So I need to order a new one. I just got to figure out which one I want to order because there's some like ones that are like $40, and then they go like up to like three, four, $500. I don't need one they're the normal ones will make about 26 pounds of ice a day, which is about good for the two of us. Aaron's saying says ice machines look cool, but when we have well water and I don't think I want to drink well ice. Well, I think what the best thing to do would be buy distilled water. That put in there that way it doesn't get all corrody and stuff. And he says our ice machine in the Samsung hasn't worked in a year and a half, and all of a sudden, let's see, Amy starts getting ice out of it when she started here to meet up. Crazy that she got it working again. Well, I mean, so there's a little button. You open it up and you pull the little thing out. There's a button inside. You hold the button down and it goes ding, 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 ding. And then it'll kind of force some ice out sometimes. And then every once in a while, like we'll just be sitting there and you'll hear it dump ice. But ours hasn't worked in years. And it's a known issue with Samsung refrigerators. It's a bad design. You know, so it's just one of those things we just I'm gonna start probably if we do it, I'll probably buy distilled water by the gallon because it's not that expensive. you know, Amy's in the house. Hey, there we go. We're talking about Amy. Good morning. Her ears are burning. Bacon Baby said I had some pork yesterday, no problem. Wednesday night we had pork ribs. Not like ribs. We got like they're like just the long, like I don't know, they look like spare ribs, maybe, I guess. And I cooked those and they were so good. But like we haven't had pork like that in so long. That was just like when pork really, really tastes good, it was just so good. Amy says, Andy, I had no idea. Yeah, we were talking about you and then popped in. And Jackie says, good morning, Dustin. Aaron, hook up a reverse osmosis system and run it to the ice machine in the fridge. Yeah. That'd probably be something you would really need to do with well water. But I was just going to have, like, for the little one, I'll just probably buy, when I get one, I'll probably just start buying distilled water by the gallon, or maybe see if we can get it by the 5-gallon bucket or whatever it is, the 5-gallon jugs. And people are saying hello to each other, and Brian Doyle is in the house. Good morning. Aaron says, my husband wants to do that, Jackie. I said, you're the plumber. Why haven't you done it? I mean, that's a thing. And I couldn't imagine. Trying to look at the Google News here to see what's going on today. If any of you guys are into crypto and have crypto, in 2020, I bought a bunch of XRP at 29 cents a piece, or average of 29 cents a piece. I bought them over like a couple of week period. I bought like 718 of them, 719 of them, or whatever, at 29 cents, an average of 29 cents. And right now they're worth about $3.50 a piece. So we'll see how that goes over the next couple of weeks. And I might see what I need to do with that. And maybe that's how I'll pay for the Dr. Berry certification. I was also going to check and see how you guys felt, what you guys thought. I had an idea of looking to see those who might be interested in being coached by me when I graduate from this. I figured it would be something that I would start probably doing probably a month or two after graduation, because a part of that is the setting up of an LLC, website, all that stuff, and getting things. And you got to kind of put the courses and plans and things together for the people who choose to work with you. I was looking to maybe see if I could utilize people who want to partake and be coached by me once I'm certified, who wanted to pay in advance at a cheaper rate. I don't know. I don't have it all worked out yet, but if anybody would be interested in that, I don't have all the prices and all that. I don't know what I would be charging. I think that all kind of comes along with the classes and such. I can look and see what other people are charging, but I figure I would probably put some stuff out there, probably undersell myself in a way just to make sure I have enough to pay for the course, and then see how that works out, to see what you guys thought about that. I think you guys are the ones who are here with me the most. You guys are here most of the time with me, and kind of fund it the way that that way I don't have to go and try to get a loan or whatever. I don't necessarily want to sell any of my crypto either, but a person would do what they have to do, right? Because crypto is important. And yeah, it's like $3.51 a piece. So it's up to 2.5% in the last what am I sitting at here? Last week. So yeah, I mean, it looks like Ethereum is up. I've got Ethereum and all that stuff. So I mean, in the mid pandemic, there was not a lot to do but play around with crypto, and I mean, it's crazy to see that Bitcoin is right now $118,000 a Bitcoin, and it's funny to think that there was a guy years ago who bought two pizzas with Bitcoin. Let's see. So there's a story here. The guy, let's see. So Bitcoin Pizza Day, Laszlo spent, let's see, in 2010 using crypto in 2010. Let's see, what did he use it here? So it was 11 years ago. He bought two pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins. So in 2010, he used 10,000 Bitcoins to buy two pizzas that would be worth $3.8 billion today. I would be sick. 10,000 Bitcoins. He bought two pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins back in 2010. That would be worth $3.8 billion today. Oh, my goodness gracious. And this story was May 22nd, 2021. I don't know if that's been updated or not, but let me pull up my calculator and we'll see exactly what that's worth now. That's insanity because right now it's they're currently $118,073.30. So let's see, 118,073.30 times 10,000. It says it's only 1.1 billion. So I don't know. This article is a little misleading. It says 3.8 billion on pizzas, but if you're doing the math, it says it's $1.1 billion. So 118,000 times 10,000 is basically $1.2 billion. But still, that's an insane amount of money to spend for two pizzas, you know? And Jackie's, what about my veterans discount? I'm thinking the discount that I'll be giving would be the discount that I'd be giving would probably be better than a veteran discount. I was thinking like somewhere between like 25 and 50% off the first month or two of what you're looking to purchase, like how many hours or whatever it is, or how long you want to. There's still a lot I need to learn as far as what it'll be. Yeah, it's just one of those things like. And Brian says, I love watching ETH climb. I don't have as many ETH. What have I got in ETH? Yeah, I've just got one, like a 1 1/3 ETH or whatever. So still not bad. But I mean, considering I never thought that, but I've got some Ethereum and Chainlink and Cardano and Stellar Lumens and all that stuff. So, you know. But yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things just to kind of get an idea of what you guys think about it. Um, and Jackie's talking about Aaron, all your screaming kiddos coming out of my Bose sound system on my drive home yesterday brought my mommy memories. Oh my goodness gracious. Aaron says, doesn't it sound like a scary movie? Let's see. Jackie says, when they started Bitcoin, they gave away some when you signed up. I signed up with an email. I don't remember, and that's the only way you can recover your account. So I'm probably a millionaire. I mean, realistically, so I mean, you just kind of have to remember how many emails you've had since then. I have all the emails that I've ever had. I still have my original AOL email. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of like Yahoo accounts and stuff like that, and SBC Globals and stuff like that I don't have anymore. But I never would have used those to sign up for Bitcoin. But I would start to pare that back and see if you have any, because you have a Bitcoin that's $118,000. So I would say that would take some serious thought. Just start plugging in old. I mean, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I would start really plugging away and kind of really start to put that thinking cap on and start thinking, what emails were you using back then? Because you know, I would be really working on that one. I mean, like, think about that. If they give you 10 Bitcoins, you're a millionaire. And Jackie's like, yeah, I understand. I bet. JJ's in the house. Good morning, my friend JJ. Thank you for being here. Back in the day, you had to mine Bitcoin, just couldn't buy it. Yeah, you can still mine it, but it's like such a small amount that like the power usage to mine it these days doesn't really give you much. I mean, I've got Shiba Inu coin, I've got Doge coin, I've got all those things just because, and I just forget about them for weeks and months at a time and just kind of let them cook. Yeah, because I always wanted to know how to buy them back then. I wish I go back and learn how to buy them and just buy like 1,000,000 Bitcoins and just hold on. I mean, everybody and their mom would do that now, you know. But I'm always kind of looking at that kind of stuff. It's kind of weird how that's so far off. 10,000 Bitcoins. It's like, let's see, purchased the equated to roughly $41 back in 2010 based on the going rate for Bitcoin back then. It is widely viewed for the first time virtual currency had ever been used to buy anything in the real world. However, those 10,000 Bitcoins would be valued at approximately 380 million. Okay, so they had it 3.8 billion. It's really 380 million in the time this article was written. Now it's 1.2 billion. That's crazy sauce, but yeah. Oh, that's weird. That's so strange. A Google travel site just popped up, and it's showing me my Chandra's parents' house they sold in Cayman. It's now up for rent for vacations, and it's ridiculous. But yeah. Oh, let's see. Dr. Pepper's sister brand just released a throwback soda from the 1800s. Let's see. It says Bitcoin dominance sinks as Ethereum and XRP rise. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Andy says we have a portfolio and none of it is in Bitcoin. I think for a long time people just assumed Bitcoin was going to be a joke, and I mean, I was buying it. I was doing a thing where I was buying it like $1 a day. This was back when it was like $3,000 for a coin. And then I actually had at one point in time like 15, $16,000 worth of Bitcoin, and then I was laid off and let go of my job, and then the unemployment ran out. Then I was kind of utilizing some of that Bitcoin money to kind of get me through the tough times, and I've got like $400 worth of Bitcoin now. you know. Let's see. JJ says a couple years ago I bought $10 of Bitcoin on Coinbase in order to buy a Canadian Apple card. They charged a fee, so I didn't even have $10 to buy the card over. Time the value dropped to around $2. Yeah. And Aaron's asking if anybody has any big plans today. I'm thinking about running to Costco. I think they're closing out their sardine supply, so I'm gonna go see if mine this was a couple of days ago, so they may not have any left because they usually cycle through that stuff pretty quick. But if they do have some, then I'll buy some. I saw them on a Reddit where they were like $3, like $3 a package, so getting it for 50 cents a can, and I'm like, woo, that's a big deal. So I'll do what I can. And Sandy says Mitch is having a live with Dr. Kilt at 10 a.m. And then JJ said, I read somewhere the value was skyrocketing, so I checked it and it was worth around $25, so I cashed it out. And he says, my daughter and her family went to Holiday World yesterday. They got rained out, so rain checks for another day. Yeah, I've never been there. Brian says, question, who do you know that has turned in their Bitcoin for cash and has actually got that cash? I have. I mean, I never got the cash in hand, but I put that money in my bank account and spent it on bills and all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I've never, I mean, who really has cash these days? I don't know. I mean, but you can get cash. I mean, I could have taken my car to the ATM and pulled out money. I'm pretty sure I may have done that. But when I was just selling my Bitcoin and kind of living on that for a while. So I don't know if that's what you're asking about or not. But I mean, I use it as money. I mean, it's real money. And Bry's Biscuits asking if anybody caught Kelly Hogan's sugar addiction panel yesterday. It was real and raw. I did not. Let's see. I watched her video every Saturday. Starts off my day with a new recommended. And Sandy says that she did it. It was great. And then Aaron said, I guess I'm going sardine hunting, and so did Tanya. And Amy said that she's going to church and having a live at 7 p.m. I don't know. We may be having our family over, but I will maybe pop on and say hi and maybe go on your live with you for a little bit. I think you're doing that. It's like an open thing for you today. And Brian says, y'all can come help paint today. That sounds wonderful for anyone who likes to paint. So be mindful and go and hang out with Brian today. And Andy says, your granddaughter would love it. Let's see. We had what? Let's say fun. Went to. Okay, yeah. I think you get to go like 2 days, and if you can buy like 2-day tickets or whatever. I'm sure she'd like it. She just likes going and doing stuff. Papa Carnivore's in the house. Papa Carnivore is here. Thumbs up. Yes. Welcome, Papa Carnivore. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And he says, I'm doing my morning walk. So hot and humid down here today in South Florida. Woo! Are you near Rick? Because Rick's like, no one ever visits me. No one says hi to me. You can't live that far from Rick. And Papa Carnivore says, hi, Amy. Just watched a short where you were, someone else were eating pistachio ice cream with sardines in it. Gross. Yeah. She was doing that so that someone else wouldn't have to. Yeah. Sharon, welcome. Our good friend Sharon is in the house. I'm glad to see you. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're doing better. Thank you for being here. We miss you very much. I don't see you around very often, so I do miss you. And Charlie says, I just scripted out my first YouTube video for release in a few weeks. We'll probably continue afterward with how I eat and exercise in a week video a couple times a month. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to not put out some content. I mean, you know how to do it. You know how to edit videos or whatever. Just talk to the camera, do what you got to do. I mean, it's going to be clunky. It's going to be weird. And just do it. Just press record. So Think Media, that's one of the things Think Media, Sean Cannell over at Think Media says, just press record. I don't even script when I put my videos together. I don't put together a script. I put like a detailed outline together, so I have all my data points and everything, and I just kind of read those, talk about it, put my own stuff into it. But I don't, uh, I don't script it word for word. But I mean, some people need to, and that's okay. Brad's Business says a lot of nutrition coaching classes popping up on influencer channels now. Barry Westman. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like that's the coaching and all that stuff that I want to do is through Dr. Barry. I want to take his course. So in order hopefully to be able to pay for that, I'm going to try and see if anybody would be interested in purchasing advanced coaching, like paying in advance for coaching, so I can utilize that to for then basically obviously the discounted rate. I mean, and then it would be like about a month or two, like probably 30 to 60 days after graduation or whatever you want to call it, completion of the course to give myself a chance to get the LLC set up. But then, and again, all this is preliminary. I don't know how long it all takes to set all that stuff up. So I know that they teach you that all in the course. But and then as soon as everything is solidified, I have a website going and all that. I mean, I already pay for the website, so that won't be that hard. I just gotta put it together and do all the things. And I mean, they're gonna teach me social media. I pretty much know a good amount of that, but I mean, there's always stuff to learn. No one knows it all. So that's what I'm looking to do. And if anybody would be interested in that, that'd be one of the things that would truly help me be able to pay for it and get me on my way. So yeah, and Cindy, it dared her to do it. It's pretty nice of Cindy, yeah. Here, good morning, Steph. I hope you're doing okay. She says, "Good morning," and Andy goes, "Script. You're supposed to script a YouTube video." Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you know. I mean, some people need to. Some people just they just feel better. And Amy's telling Charlie he's going to be great, and I know he will. He does good at everything he does. And Mary says, "I have Bitcoin, Ethereum in my Coinbase account. I'm trying to find out what I can do with that before I put more money into it. Uh, is it usable for international travel?" I mean, it's money. So really what you do is you would just say, I mean, really what you would do if you want to utilize that money, you just sell it, put that money into your bank account. Because usually with a Coinbase account, you have some kind of account attached to it. You're going to sell that Bitcoin because you don't necessarily spend Bitcoin like you do cash. You basically transfer it into cash. If you're traveling, you'd put it in traveler's checks or whatever, or what you could do is if you're traveling, get a travel safe credit card, spend all the whatever you're going to do on travel on the credit card, then use the Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever that you sell and pay back the credit card. I mean, that's what I would understand. Really, for me, it's just a way to save money and have it's just a way to kind of grow and just kind of be diversified with your portfolio because I've got stocks and crypto and all that stuff. Papa Carnivore says, yeah, Kelly Hogan's video. 3 carnivore ladies included Jenny Mitch, Courtney Luna, who all tried the idiotic sugar diet, and it revived their sugar addiction. So sad. But I think so. But I think there's still validity in these experiments. I think if you're trying something and you're doing it in a controlled setting, like trying a sugar diet, and you're documenting it and you're aware of the circumstances and you're aware of the possible outcomes, I still don't necessarily think it was, certain people are going to do it. And I think, I still think it's a valid thing to show a lot of other people what not to do. So, I mean, is it silly? Is it idiotic? Yeah, most likely, for sure. Unless you're like, somebody who is surfing 8 hours a day, or, you're a marathon runner, or you're a bodybuilder who spends 6 to 7 hours in the gym every day, and you're going to go into the gym and you're going to burn all that off, and you're just you're doing whatever you're doing, and cool. But for the average person like myself, it's not a good idea because I am just sitting here doing my thing. And yeah, I don't need to do that. It's like Carnivorous Grandma or whatever was live last night for a while and was saying, and when I was talking, it was like, I mean, there's so many people who need help in this space of the proper human diet. Whether I mean, and I have my own opinions, because I think as far as getting the most people to, getting people to help here is there's so many people who need help, and if we can get people just, and I know this is controversial, but even if we can get people on a proper human diet, somewhere spectrum of whole foods, whether that contains potatoes and rice or whatever on this side of the spectrum, over here, and then you get from that into paleo, low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore, into lion diet or whatever. You got starting over here, going over here or whatever. I mean, the idea that we're going to get a bulk of the billions of people who need our help to carnivore, lion diet, slim, keto, slim, but at least maybe getting them to whole foods off of the hyper palatable only processed foods and such, or even doing, eating so much sugar, because we eat so much sugar. Never in history as the average person consumed as much sugar as we do basically with one drink. Like people who go to Dunkin' Donuts and get the large crazy drink that's got 100 grams of sugar in it. Never in history have we consumed that much sugar on a daily basis ever in human history per capita. I mean, yeah, has somebody probably in human history probably eaten, 10 pounds of, mangoes in a day? Maybe. And that's a lot of sugar, but not like just consumed it like we do now. So, I mean, we have an epidemic of sugar usage in this country, and we've got to get that down to normal historic levels. And, and that comes down to just the overabundance of it. It's everywhere, and it's so normalized. It doesn't matter even if it's everywhere; it's normalized. But it's like there's nothing you can buy in the store at checkouts that doesn't have something kind of sugar in it. I mean, you got to go and you got to buy like the super expensive bougie beef sticks to not have sugar in it. I was, talking yesterday on that live in the chat that in the industry of pork rinds and beef sticks and beef jerky, they don't use it's not considered grass or generally regarded as safe to utilize artificial sweeteners like allulose and such in that kind of context. So even in like the Jack Link's zero sugar or the Walmart zero sugar beef jerky, they're utilizing and I'm not sure which brand uses which, but one of them uses like pineapple juice and one of them uses pineapple juice powder. So it's still sugar, but they're not utilizing artificial sweeteners, not using sucralose, because those companies don't consider it generally regarded as safe, but that's a company thing that they make those decisions. The industry, so pork rinds don't do the same. Like even, Pork and Good with their sweet pork rinds, they're not utilizing an artificial sweetener. They're utilizing sugar. But anyway, yeah, it's just so much. So much. Aaron said I hit a record and go, or hit record and go. That's right. I do, because I usually like pushing out information, so I do need to do a little bit of research on that. But I saw a super chat. Let me go see if I can find that here in just a second. Let's see. Yeah, Bryce Biscuit says, I think Dr. Berry's initially limited to something like 200. Yeah, so I think there was 200 is what they're looking to do the first course. I think 250 people have signed up. So I imagine I have a pretty good chance of getting in that first. I mean, it's likely that I'll get selected for that first thing. So I imagine that like the first go round, it won't be that unlikely for me to be able to try that course. I haven't heard if there's been more, but I imagine they're going to start sending out that information late this month, early next month, and it's supposed to start in September. So Yeah. Anybody, so start planting the seed if you would be interested. Like I said, I don't have any of the details worked out yet, but just looking to see anybody who might be interested in doing that, helping me out, um, helping me make this dream a reality. Yeah. Papa Carnivore says Courtney Luna, who wrote Carnivore Cookbook, is now off the rails and sugar addicted because she tried the sugar diet. She told Kelly she's off carnivore for several months now. That's interesting because I see her content. So her content says that she's having issues staying on track. You know, and Andy says the Papa Carnivore that everything is a trial and error and live and learn and equals one is my love language. Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's, I don't think anybody truly went into that sugar diet with the idea that it was a great idea. Some people, I think, were looking at it and they were hoping that they were going to find what they were looking for. A lot of people who've been doing keto or carnivore for a long time who are missing a lot of things. They're like, you mean I can go and eat a little bit of no fat and just eat all the sugar that I want, whether it's fruit or whatever? I think there was some people kind of put caution to the wind because they were so desperate for something like that. So I and I think that was some people that were like that, and that's why I knew that wasn't for me. But you know, and Becky Baby says she was shocked that Kelly Hogan would do it, and I think so as a content creator, there is kind of there's a kind of an enticement. It's enticing to make that kind of content to go, you know what, I want to do this sugar diet because you're going to get eyes on your content and grow the channel. It can do big things for you to help promote carnivore or whatever it is you're trying to do. So you can get people looking at your channel. Oh, they're stepping away from carnivore. They're going to try the sugar diet. No, I mean, and that's one of those things that, that kind of stuff gets eyes on your content. It's always been the thing, if it bleeds, it leads, you know. And Papa Carnivore says I wrote a long comment in response to Kelly's sugar addiction panel video. And Bryce says it was definitely relatable, if not triggering. I felt that hard. The struggle is real. Yeah. And I think, it's just one of those things that we just have to be careful what we try. But I think that it's going to be things that, and we're going to see more sugar diets. We're going to see more of people trying new things. I mean, think about, coming into the keto space when I did back in 2016. Keto was moderate protein, high fat, and then you start seeing, like, the growing amount of protein, and then you start seeing carnivore and then lion diet and all these things. So things morph out of these things. So things shift and change, and people need to find what works for them. And Lisa says, I've been thinking about doing some videos, but for now, just thinking, no recording yet. I mean, it never hurts to try just turning on the camera. Even if you're going to release it, just start talking to the camera. It never hurts, because just getting comfortable looking into a camera. Like right now, I'm looking at a camera right here, and I'm just looking at the camera, talking to it. I've got a microphone here, camera here, and I've got a screen here, and I'm staring at myself. So I see me, and I'm just talking. But that takes a certain amount of practice to get comfortable doing it, because the idea of just looking into a camera and talking seems absurd when you first start. It seems like, how crazy is this? I remember trying to do videos for projects at one of my old jobs, and I would, I'd submit we had these things where we'd submit proposals. And then if your proposal kind of got selected, then you start going to the next steps, and they wanted you to put a video together of you talking about your proposal, and it was you writing it out and saying it and saying it and saying it. It just never felt right. I mean, it would be a lot easier now, but just staring into a camera and just talking just seems so foreign at first. But after a little bit of practice, it just becomes easy. Well, easier, I should say. And Jackie said that she's seen houses for sale for Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. Andy says Kelly Hogan did not do the sugar diet. She was talking to other people who did. Okay. And then yeah, so Papa Carnivore says that Kelly Hogan didn't do the sugar diet, but the three women on the panel did, and it ruined. I wouldn't say it ruined them. I haven't watched the video to be honest with you, but I think even if you go off the rails, like think about how long most of us were on a high sugar, high carbohydrate diet for years, decades, even. So I kind of think that when you switch over and start doing carnivore or keto or whatever, because sometimes I see certain people do carnivore and I just kind of wonder, like, are they doing it just because keto wasn't like wasn't enough, and they're like, well, if keto's cool, I got to do carnivore now. And I mean, there are certain people out there who really utilize tools provided, and carnivore helps with autoimmune. Lion helps the same way. There's a lot of things that people out there who have a lot of things going on, and they'll try keto, and that may not be enough, and they start finding some resolve in their health, and then they start switching and going. And so, and it stands to reason that people are going to try and kind of try these other things, if not to help others. So I kind of want to know, like, will they get back on track? I'm sure that they'll get back on track. And Charlie's has a valid question. What got me interested in Dr. Barry's coaching program versus the other ones out there? Prior to Dr. Barry's announcement that they were doing it, I hadn't given coaching much thought. I had looked at some of the coaching, and I thought the prices were kind of crazy. And they're not too far off from where Dr. Barry's is. But really, what really enticed me with Dr. Barry is it's not just you take the course, and this is the way they're selling it. So, I don't have any inside information, but the way they're selling it is you take this course. It's put together with Dr. Barry and Nisha, Kim Howerton, and some others. People that that I respect. I like Kim. I like Dr. Barry. I think that they put together information, but then they're not just throwing you to the wolves. You're then a part of their network. You're then a part of their tribe or whatever they're calling themselves. So you're just not kind of thrown to the wolves. And I think having that Dr. Barry backing on it is important, especially in the carnivore space. Because I know there's Primal, and there's I think it's called Primal. There's one that Maria Emmerich has, but I just think what really kind of makes it so enticing for me is the fact that it has Dr. Barry's backing, and then you're a part of them, and you have them kind of behind you. And I think there's only going to be growth in the space. I think there's only going to be more people kind of curious about a proper human diet, because I'm not necessarily going to be purely carnivore or keto or any of those. I want to meet people where they are. And I think that's so valuable, is it's open to a proper human diet to where you can meet people where they are. Not everybody when they start is ready for carnivore. Not everybody's they're going to be ready for like a strict keto. You have to get with somebody, and you have to find out where are they, what are their goals. And this is all preliminary, me not taking any courses, but I just want to be able to help as many people as I can. And I don't want to be stuck with a program outside of this space where they're talking more like SAD, standard American diet, or plant-based, or things of that nature, where I'm kind of stuck with that certification. But I do, or like with Primal or whatever, where I'm just stuck talking about, and obviously I've never taken those courses or looked much at them, but I don't want to be stuck just only talking about carnivore. I want to be able to help as many people as I can with where they need to go, because not everybody's going to be willing to jump in both feet carnivore. Not everybody's going to do keto, whatever, paleo. If I can get people just away from highly processed foods, if I can get people just eating whole food, single ingredient foods, even if that is potato, or if if that's some rice, or they're having fish and rice, or they're eating chicken and rice, or whatever. I mean, I know that that's not what this community really revolves around, but we're looking outside of this community. We're looking at so many people out there who need help, and I want to be able to tap into and help as many people that were like me, whether they're food addicted or whatever, severely obese. I was over 400 pounds. I was literally eating myself to death. So that's one thing about the proper human diet aspect of this that really is enticing. Having Dr. Barry backing is enticing. The fact that they're just not going to give you the certification, but they're also going to allow you to kind of keep building and growing and maintaining that relationship with them, I think is huge. And with that relationship, then it opens doors to other opportunities. So, I mean, and I really want to make a go of it. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So, I don't know if that answers your question, but hopefully it does. Yeah. And Papa Carnivore says, in my long comment to Kelly's video, I talked about my now infamous chocolate bar incident where I had a bite of a chocolate bar at my mom's house, and it sent me off plan for a week. And I mean, and that can happen too. And I'm glad that you're honest and open about this. And I think that's what's so very valuable about what Kelly Hogan did with that video or that live yesterday or whatever it was, with those panelists talking about how their reactions were to the sugar diet, because there was there's a lot of positivity revolving the sugar diet. But again, the positivity is coming from the people who stand to gain the most from that. And it's not surprising that we would see, negativity surrounding the sugar diet from our community as well. But, but the honesty, as somebody who may be carnivore, who stepped away to try it, and then they had miserable or catastrophic impact, being open and vulnerable enough to share that information is so valuable. But I want to say thank you so much to Cave Woman Diet. Thank you so much. I've been watching her. I got the right thing here. Thank you for all your support. You're so very welcome. Yeah. Let me make sure I'm looking at this information here. Hold on. Yeah, I've been hanging out. So Meat Lover Gal, Cave Woman Diet. Check out her channel. I've been watching her content, commenting on her stuff, helping her with electrolytes, trying to help her anyway. What she has access to where she is a lot different. So she tried Element and didn't. It was too salty for her. So if you're not subscribed, go over and subscribe to her channel. It would greatly mean the world to me, because it's so important that we help everybody out. So go and check her out. And Mary M says, okay, thanks for that. And Papa Carnivore says that was 6 months ago. And Aaron says, I guess they didn't feel as great on carnivore as we do. And I think that's not even always the case. I think it's one of those things to where you can feel great, and then something new comes along and you're like, well, maybe that'll make me feel better. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. It's especially for me being in a situation where I come from the food addiction side of things. I struggle and struggle and struggle to maintain and keep a hold of satiety, and there are times where it just slips through. And sometimes we do plan things. We kind of plan things, because it's one of those things. If you kind of set out and you tell yourself you're never going to have something again, ever, and you're just never going to do it, there's just a mental block that makes it so much difficult. It's more difficult to stay away from something. But for me, like, if I know if I have the mentality that I can have whatever I want, whenever I want, it makes it easier for me. And then if I know that I am if I plan to do things, like I know for birthdays, we're going to do this, or we're going to go to the fair and we're going to do that. And I know that I have these times, places, do things, then it helps keep me on track. And I mean, I used to eat so bad every day. It was a struggle every day. So being to a point where I can keep it together for weeks at a time, I think that's huge for me. And, and I try to be transparent as I can with this channel. Um, and it's like, and it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. This is a lifestyle. This is for the rest of my life. And that's where, I look at success as a consistency. There's no such thing as perfection. I'm never going to reach perfection. And sometimes it doesn't matter how good I feel or how bad something that I'm going to eat is going to make me feel. A lot of times that is a great deterrent for me. Like I'm in the grocery store and those kind of thoughts start to come in, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to have the diarrhea. I don't need to have the heartburn. I don't need to feel that bad for 3 days or whatever it is. Even if I only have one really big, like one bad meal, I may feel bad for 3 days, even if I'm back on track the next morning. There's just one of those things. That's just how it is. And sometimes, no matter how bad you're going to feel, you just can't stop it. And you still do it. So, I mean, that's just where, like, I think the idea of I know how good I feel when I eat beef and eggs and plenty of butter, but those thoughts creep in, the desire to do things that I know I shouldn't do. And so, I mean, there are some little valve things that are just like, okay, I'm going to let little spurts. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a little bit of this because I don't want to go completely off the rails. So I don't know if that makes sense. And it may not even be the best way to handle it, but that's how I'm handling it now. And I'm always trying to be better and always trying to move forward and always trying to be more consistent. And John says, you know how I feel about the sugar diet? I feel like it saved my life. And I think, that's just one of those things. I think, when John comes in and he's struggling and he's got two demons. Realistically, I think that's how I kind of look at it. He had two demons. He's like, I've got alcohol and I've got sugar. If either I can let alcohol win or I can lean into the sugar, and hopefully he did take that gamble and it paid off. He leaned into the sugar and helped him bypass the alcohol, and then he slowly started reverting himself off the sugar. So I think you have to look. You have to look at yourself. How do you handle things? What do you think is best for you? Cave Woman Diet says, hello, everyone. Welcome again. Thank you again so much for that super chat. Truly, truly appreciate you very much. And Brides Biscuit says, the experiment can be valid, but depending on where you are on the addiction spectrum, it can be physically, emotionally, and dangerous to your mental health. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And, I think these ladies, and like I said, again, I haven't had a chance to watch that panel, but I imagine every single one of them probably thought they were strong enough to try it and beat it. And it sounds like they were mistaken, but I still think they probably did what they thought was best at the time. And Papa Carnivore says, when you're a hardcore sugar addict like me, you can't have any of those things that you were addicted to. That was my hard lesson from the chocolate bar incident. Yeah. And I mean, and again, that's where that N equals one comes from. And it's truly, like for me, yeah, sugar was a thing, but for me, it's corn dogs, it's macaroni and cheese, it's pizza, it's that kind of stuff is what I would rather have any day of the week. Candy, man, I can have some candy sometimes, but it's not what I craved. I didn't think about candy all the time. Ice cream sometimes. I liked ice cream, but for me it was just the hyper palatable food that I wanted. A little bit of water. Delicious. And Papa Carnivore's asking John, Mr. Guggenheim, if he was kidding. And I kind of explained that a little bit. So hopefully that was a little bit of an incident there. And Cavewoman Diet says she's feeling brilliant after 23 days carnivore. Congratulations. And Lisa says, heck, I have trouble with some meats. I can't go back to sugar. Why would I give up food freedom? Yeah. And Aaron says she's a carb addict, sustained from carbs. Yeah, I mean, I am too. That's the problem is it's everywhere. And maybe one day I'll get to a point where I can just completely ignore all of it and not care anymore. But I'm not there yet. I'm a lot better than I ever used to be. Again, I'm shooting for consistency, trying to be as consistent as I can, as consistent as I can be. So it's just a thing where you just kind of do what you have to do. And Cave Woman says that carbs and sugar make her feel like crap. I think it makes a lot of us feel that way. And Bride's Biscuit says some of those women not only backslid, but were clearly in a bad place all around. It was heart wrenching. Yeah, I need to go back and listen to that. And Papa Carnivore says, Bacon Baby, I can have some whole foods like berries or some fruit once in a while. It doesn't trigger me, as Dr. Kiltz always says. It's not cheat, it's a treat once in a while if you can tolerate it. I think, I just kind of think like I don't like the word, I don't like the vernacular of like cheats and treats and like it's I mean, we're looking for sustenance, we're looking for like for me, like I'm looking for like again, like consistency. How do I maintain without going crazy? And I do feel my best when I do carnivore, when I do bacon or beef and eggs. Yeah. And Charlie says, I ran into someone at the gym yesterday who successfully controls his type 2 diabetes through heavy weightlifting, has enough muscle mass to absorb the glucose he gets from whole food carbs. Yes, I mean, so I'm curious. Did you guys talk about like what his A1C is, and the crazy thing is some bodybuilders, like people who bodybuild, will pump insulin into themselves because it's a growth hormone, or they will utilize like maltodextrin, like scoops and scoops of maltodextrin because it triggers such an insulin response. Yeah, Papa Carnivore says I can't do chocolate bars, candy, muffins, bread, cake, cookies, pies, Danish. Yeah, and a lot of stuff I don't have any desire for. There's so many things that I used to eat, but I don't have a desire for them anymore. So for me, like, there's so many things that a lot of people do have desire for that I just don't. Like cookies sometimes, but like sometimes just like cookies and milk. But that's kind of a rare thing for me. But for me, like macaroni and cheese and pizzas and things like that are what I really want, like the breads and the pastas and such, even though then I feel like garbage. Oh my goodness. And Becky says, "Yeah, I'm tired of the branding of zero sugar. I want unsweetened." And yeah, and I think we're kind of getting to that realm where there's a lot more unsweetened products out there than there ever used to be. Because the demand dictates, you basically you are choosing with your wallet. And Lisa says, I just wish I could learn to love myself. I was hoping carnivore would heal my self hate. I'm thinking strict line may help. And I don't know if there's any kind of food that can make us truly learn to love ourselves. I think that that's just self. I mean, I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I think self reflection and just kind of getting to know yourself is such a huge part of that battle. And one of the things that I've really tried to work on this whole entire thing is just trying to get to know myself. And I know that I've talked about, like, when I started doing keto, one of the things I think helped me with keto when I first started in 2016 is I knew that I had, food addiction and overeating tendencies. So I made sure to circumvent any possibility of me eating things that I wasn't wanting to eat. But like, I would basically pack like three people's worth of lunches each day to take to work. So like, I'd take a dozen boiled eggs and six string cheese and like Ziploc bags of pepperonis and Ziploc bags of lunch meat and put them in a bag and just kind of, especially in the very beginning, I wasn't trying to fast. I was basically trying to do a 12-12. I kind of started with a 12-hour fasting window, and I started with 12. So then I was eating in a 12-hour window. So I'd basically be eating from like 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Not necessarily the entire time, but that was kind of what I was open for. And then after I did the 12-12 for a while, then I closed it to 14 hours fasted, and then 16 hours fasted, and then 18 hours fasted. I mean, this took months and months and months, but I understood myself, and I understood that I worked at an office, and there's always the food, or there's always food. There's always cakes and candies at people's desks and pitch-ins. We would have literally have dessert pitch-ins where everybody brought desserts, and there was like a ledge by the windows, and they would just be loaded with desserts, and people would work for hours and hours on these candy trays and just bring all this stuff in. And I knew if I was going to be successful, I had to leverage my strengths and my weaknesses. I had to understand my weakness. I understood that I had food addiction issues and I had overeating issues. So I had to leverage that and understand, okay, I know that I'm going to overeat. How do I leverage that to be successful? So again, like I said, I packed a dozen eggs, dozen boiled eggs. I brought butter. I did anything and everything I can do. So I knew I had everything in my pocket that I needed. And that's exactly what I did. Day in and day out. And then it got to the point where, okay, it was good enough that I didn't bring my lunch anymore and I didn't eat while I was at work because I'd closed my window down. And I got to the point where I was doing, between a 1 and 3 or a 1 and 4 hour eating window. It was kind of a flexible thing. It wasn't really a hard fast. I was basically fasting 20 hours a day and eating within basically a 1 to 4 hour window. And I decided that, eating with my family at night was more important. So that's when I would start my eating window, is when I got home from work. So then I could sit down with the family, the nights that we had family dinners because the kids had activities, there was practices and all those things. They had rugby and whatever have you. So it was, that's when I would eat. I wouldn't eat at work, but it took me a long time to get there. And I think that's where we have to leverage our weaknesses, our strengths. Okay, what are my strengths? What do I understand about myself? What am I learning about myself? And we're 9 years into this process, and I'm always learning things about myself. You never know everything. And I've learned to love myself a lot more over the years. But it's been a slow road. Doesn't change overnight. And that's why I'm more understanding with myself as we go along. And I understand my food addiction issues. I understand that this is a long-term process for me. And I don't know if I'll ever get past the food addiction. I don't think I'll ever get past wanting things like corn dogs or whatever. But I know that I have, at least right now, I know that giving in sometimes is what I have to do. But being fully transparent as a person that does these lives, and I sit in front of you guys week in and week out and talk about this stuff, I think is invaluable. I know that each and every one of you come here and you have different stories and you have different requirements and you have different things that work for you. Some people are abstainers, and I am carnivore and I only eat this, and if I touch anything else, I'm off the rails. And some people are a little more loosey goosey and you can get by with it. but we're all a little bit different and we all have different experiences, different perspectives. We all come from different places. And that's what I love about this because we all are here to share our experiences and share what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. And someone like Lisa can come in and say, I wish I could learn to love myself, and I'm hoping carnivore would help me with that. But I don't know how long you've been doing carnivore, Lisa. I don't know how long you've been working at this, but it's a never-ending project. Loving you is a never-ending project. It's never finished. It's an everyday, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until till the end of your time project to love you. How that looks for you is going to be dependent on you. But I know for me, it's a thing that I have to work on. I'm always battling myself. I'm always suffering from self doubt. No matter how many times I do these lives or make a video, it's always, is it going to be good enough? Is it going to be good enough? Or even the idea of going into doing this, going in to do the Dr. Barry's carnivore, the proper human diet health coaching course. Am I going to be good enough? Can I hang with the other coaches that he has? Can I do it? Can I help people? It's a never ending battle to truly, truly figure out who you are and to love yourself for it. And John is saying that he's not kidding. But in my case, it was different. The reason I feel like it saved my life is that it was instrumental in me quitting drinking alcohol. It completely took away cravings for booze. And I think that that's, like I was saying, is he had two things. He had booze and he had sugar. And he leaned into sugar, help beat the booze. And then after he did the sugar for a while and got far enough away from the booze, then he started reining that in and started going back towards keto carnivore. And I'm here for it. I celebrate Mr. Gugahan because one, he's here to share his story with us, and he's open, he's candid, and he's vulnerable in sharing that with us. I mean, he came in the day after, or the weekend after, going on and drinking, and he's like, I fell off, and I'm here, and I'm trying to fix this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but he figured it out. He took a chance, and it paid off for him, and I'm immensely proud and grateful that he's part of my community, and you know, I'm glad that he shared that with us. Cave woman saying that she's addicted to cake and ice cream. I love ice, just icing and ice cream. Yes. And he says, went to the movies yesterday. Superman was fun. I had egg bites and a hamburger rounds in my purse. I love the movie. Came home instead of Texas Roadhouse to, let's see. Let's see. After the movie, came home instead of Texas Roadhouse to finish up my carnivore dinner. Stayed clean. Awesome. I love that. And Papa Carnivore says, Charlie, that might work for him now, but it won't work in the long term. I kind of feel that yeah, probably. Yeah, and Mary M says, watch out for maltodextrin. Meat does not need a sweetener. Yeah, I understand that. And maltodextrin isn't even used as a sweetener most often. It's usually used as a flavor carrier, things like that. So, yeah. And Cave Woman says, learning all about this way of eating and lifestyle. It's a long road. And Papa says, I'm glad you quit drinking alcohol. I just didn't want alcohol anymore after a few weeks on carnivore. I just feel so much better without it. I mean, and I've been that way since we, kind of went keto. There's also other personal things in my life that were instrumental in me not drinking much anymore. I never necessarily had a problem, but I would go out and drink a lot with my friends. But now that we, every once in a while, few and far between, usually something extremely celebratory like a wedding, funerals, things like that. We'll have a drink, or if we're on vacation, we'll have a couple of drinks, But I mean, as far as that, I don't really drink all that much. I don't really care to. And John says, I did the sugar diet fast for 30 days. Now I am back to ketovore. Fantastic. Cindy's in the house. Good morning, Cindy. It was awesome seeing you with Dave Mack the other night. I'm glad you were able to get that accomplished. I know that was a lot of fun for you. It's always good to see Mr. Mack himself. And Charlie says, that's awesome, cave woman. Let's see. When I first heard about carnivore a long time ago, it went by zero carb or caveman. Yeah, zero carb is typically what you hear or heard before. Let's see. And Cable says, if anybody goes back to sugar again, you'll be addicted again. Like, yeah, and I think it's just a crazy thing. Like, I think never in history we had as much sugar as we have now. We have access, like basically unlimited access to sugar. Like there's a McDonald's, it's that's about a mile from my house. Like, but really, you're just driving through the neighborhood. It's at the edge of the neighborhood. They build a bunch of warehouses, and now there's a McDonald's and a Starbucks there to support the warehouses, the workers of the warehouse, and it's right there. Now I enjoy it because I can go get I can go get a Coke Zero or whatever I want. I don't really care about McDonald's. It doesn't taste good. I don't really have any desire for that. But on my birthday, they gave me a free French fry. I can't say that I didn't enjoy that, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, it's everywhere. There's not really many places you can go without any kind of, like, with snacks. Yeah, and Papa Carnivore says I can't have ice cream either. That's a huge trigger for my sugar addiction too. Yeah. Have a wonderful day, Sharon. Thank you for joining us. She's gonna go have Sunday breakfast with the hubs. And Cave Woman says that Kelly Hogan also sang about counting calories. You don't need to count calories. Yeah, so now, and that's something that I was kind of wondering about, because you hear a lot about calories in and calories out, and there's just some weird things about that like, if calories truly mattered, if calories were a thing that truly mattered, then 0 calorie offerings wouldn't be something that inhibit weight loss or things like that. Like, some people can't have like diet soda. It just really throws them for a loop, whether it's sucralose, aspartame, that kind of stuff. But also, one thing that I've never quite understood is we only look at the calories that go in, and then we think about the calorie expenditure that we put out physically, like how much we burn off by exercise or walking or just being alive. Like, the average person is going to burn about 2,000 calories just from living each day. Maybe more, depending on who you are and what you're, not, that's just baseline waking up, being alive, breathing, heart pumping, that kind of stuff, right? But then we never talk about how many calories come out the back end. I've never heard anybody talk about, like, how many calories could be left in waste, and the waste that we expel, right? I mean, it's kind of gross, but we never hear anybody talking about that, because, like, all the calories are taken in. And Dr. Berry talks about the fact that meat is processed in the small intestine and never quite make it to the large intestine or the colon. So I'm kind of curious, like, how does that work? So, I mean, that basically, if you're thinking about calories as far as meat and things, meat and fat, that's probably going to be all taken care of in there. But anything else that we have, anything else that we eat, when we're talking about calories, where, like, and especially depending when you're eating a normal American diet, there's a lot of waste coming out. We never talk about or think about how much calories are left over there, which is kind of a weird thing that I've just never heard anybody else bring up. So that's just a thing. And John said, I got old after about a week, was tough to consume as many carbs as I was. I couldn't imagine. I'm sure I could do it. I'm sure that I would do it, and I would probably enjoy it for a while, but I'd probably be miserable after a bit. Yeah, Mary was like, people were looking for permission to eat sugar when they went on the sugar diet. It's also clickbait. Yeah, 100%. It's 100% like the idea. It's like clickbait. People have been looking for an excuse to do that because, and I know that people were, some people started off, it was like, it's just fruit and whatever. But then people were like, I eat bags of Sour Patch Kids. I knew that was a mistake. I knew that wasn't something I was going to do. Like the idea made my teeth hurt. Just the idea, just thinking of it made my teeth hurt. Oh, couldn't do it. Rick slept late? Oh my goodness, Rick. What would Darkwing Duck say to you sleeping late? Do you think he'd be disappointed in you? Probably not, because you're you're a weirdo and he's a weirdo and we love you. Or shells in the house. Will someone do sugar diet? It's be why someone's so why someone would do the sugar diet's beyond me. I think I think it was a timing thing. So I think that it being kind of where I think with any kind of movement like carnivore, lion, people kind of get into it, and then they're looking for something. I think the people kind of get into it, and they're like, and then they hear about this, thing. Oh wait, you're saying that I could do this and lose some weight? I could eat candy too? Of course, people are going to jump on that. It doesn't make any sense, but human nature is ripe for that. Like that's just like the perfect storm for people to try it. So I wasn't surprised at all. I was kind of surprised that it was a thing, but then once it was a thing that people were jumping on it, totally made all the sense. Papa Carnivore says if you have talking to Bacon Baby, if you have some fresh grown peaches or watermelon at your mom's house, that would throw you off plan, or you can just go back to plan when you get home. Yeah, I mean, things like that sounds fantastic. Like I miss like my great grandma used to always have like ice cold cantaloupe, and we'd put some salt on it and sit outside and talk. And me and my great grandmother would talk about all kinds of stuff and eat cantaloupe. Oh, so good, so yummy. And and I agree that sugar is bad for us, but I think it comes down to the quantity is the poison, right? So again, like there's no other time in history where we've eaten sugar the way we do now. But I don't necessarily think that sugar in of itself is poison. I think it's all in the quantity. Now, I think certain people get to the point where they become so sensitive to it that any amount is kind of an issue. But I think for the masses, I think in over human history, we've gravitated towards sugar. And I think that's even still hardwired in us now. I think that, we gravitated towards sugar as a survival technique. And I've had people argue this with me, well, we survive with meat. Well, sure. But if there wasn't a hunt, if you weren't successful with the hunt and you found, or, you people would find and gorge on berries and honey and fruit, anything they could find to fatten themselves up so they would survive the wintertime. I mean, they're living in tents and teepees or crude shelters over thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, freezing to death all winter, trying to survive, trying to get enough body fat to survive the winter so they didn't starve to death where they couldn't find any meat or whatever it was. I don't necessarily think that. I think it's only a modern issue, modern time issue when it comes to sugar. That sugar is so. It's like you could find something that was very beneficial to our survival, but then you make it commonplace, and that's where it's bad. I think if anything and everything you eat revolves around sugar, carbohydrates, sure, not a good plan. I just don't inherently think it's poison. And I know that a lot of people look at it as it is because that's the way that they have to look at it. And I understand that as well. But again, we have to understand that our bodies manufacture glucose in of itself. So we will break down damaged cells and utilize, damaged proteins in the body and such to create glucose for gluconeogenesis. So obviously, some glucose and sugar is necessary, whether it's exogenous coming from outside or being made by the inside. But again, we're talking teaspoons a day, not pounds like we get. Like if you're a person, you drink 3 to 4 sodas a day, That's crazy. Or if you're drinking, like, say you're somebody who goes to Dunkin' Donuts twice and gets those big sugar drinks, and you've got 200 grams. The average person probably has 5, 6, 700 grams of carbohydrates a day. That's insane. That's way more than we need to survive. We are under protein, under fat, over sugared, over grained. But I still think that we have to be mindful how we communicate these things to people, because I think that communication is key here, because we're not only trying to help ourselves, we're trying to help our community, and we're trying to help people on the outside of the community. And we have to be mindful of how we word things, because people on the outside who aren't in this community with us hear things like sugar is poison, vegetables are trying to kill us. You can't eat this because of oxalates, oxalate dumping. They're like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. What are you talking about? Again, we want to get people into the door. We want them to start trying things for themselves to see how they feel. And I think we just got to be very mindful of how we explain things, because we are looking for mass adoption here, right? We're looking to help as many people as we can. Cave Woman Diet says, I just started my own channel. I got 22 subscribers, but I'm enjoying it. It grows fast. We all start somewhere. We all start very slow. I started with 0 subscribers, just like everybody else. And I just have like 6,300 now, but I've been doing this. It's like my channel was started in 2020. I only had one video for the entirety of 2020. Well, like a teaser. It had like a little clip of like what my logo was and a little bit of music or whatever. But then it had a video for all of 2020 and 2021 till now. I've put up like, I think I'm coming up on 900 videos, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look and see. I think I'm coming up on 900 videos or 850 videos, something like that. I have to look and see where I'm at. Let me see. 827 videos is what I've got right now. So it takes time. And Jackie says, the enemy doesn't want us to get healthy. Whoever they are, they'd rather us be getting the quick feel good stuff. So we don't see clearly, kind of like Niles County passing 22 dispensary permits. Yeah, I mean, I think inherently there's a part of it that wants the status quo to maintain, the status quo being pharmaceuticals, insurance companies and all that. But I think the people like the doctors and the nurses genuinely think they're helping. Dietitians genuinely think they're helping. They think they're doing the right thing. I don't think it's nefarious all the way around. Is there some bad actors at play? 100%. There's always going to be bad actors at play in human history. All throughout human history, we've had bad actors. But I think, genuinely speaking, most healthcare people are under the assumption they're doing the right thing. Now, how many atrocities have been performed? How many atrocities have we seen across the world under the guise of doing the right thing? So again, you have to take a lot of that with a grain of salt. But I'm not mad at dispensaries. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. I think we are teaching, we are doing the hard work. We're pushing the health agenda that we are trying to get out there, that meat isn't bad, cholesterol's not bad, eggs aren't bad, you know. But again, we do need to be mindful of how we go about talking about the message, to make sure that we're making it, accessible to the masses. And I know that we are basically used to preaching to the choir. And Papa Carnivore is asking if I like Mitch. Mitch is a good channel. I watched his channel. I like it. I don't get a chance to tune in very often. And I know he's about a half hour into his channel now, so people probably left to go watch Mitch. But, you know, The dispensary came in and bought the bowling alley, the miniature golf place, paintball range, and now it's like nothing recreational. Now, my question with that was that trying to save the town? Were those things already kind of going under? Were they not making a profit? Were they already for sale? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into question there. I mean, if people weren't utilizing them in the first place, I think, I mean, I don't necessarily know a lot about dispensaries because, again, it's not necessarily really legal in Indiana, because I'm guessing that Niles is just outside of Indiana. It's got to be Michigan or Illinois, right? Maybe even Ohio, depending on where you are again. Um, but because I don't think dispensaries are necessarily all that bad. But again, I mean, I don't know enough about them. I've been to one dispensary, but that was in Colorado. We went to Colorado. We went to was it Colorado Springs? You had to go to Manitou Springs, I think, because Colorado Springs had it set up where you had to be a resident to go to the dispensary. But in Manitou Springs, you could go if you were like from out of town, if you weren't from Colorado. Lexus is here. Good morning, Lexus. I'm glad to see you here. Always wonderful to see you. Everyone say hello to Alexis. She's doing good stuff. She's got a channel, and she's been doing a lot of lives with Thomas over a Target Prime Rib. Andy says Dr. Barry's the man, the myth, the legend. He's not really a myth. I've met him. I don't know. He's all right. And Papa says those types of intrusive thoughts are terrible. I used to have them with my bipolar depression, anxiety, ADHD, high fat. Carnivore cured all that. Off psych meds 2 years. But yeah, like I said, like Papa said it right there. 2 years. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. Aaron, talking to Cave Woman and Booby Goats. Booby Goats, Cave Woman, subscribe to each other. You guys both have great channels. Aaron looks like she's 18 and has 10 kids. I don't see how that's possible, but we're here. And Papa Carnivore says to Lisa to make sure to keep your fat super high. I do 70, 80% fat. Very good. And he's talking about how she subscribed to Cave Woman Keto or Cave Woman Diet. Awesome. And Andy is at 197 subscribers, still editing the low carb cruise video. Need to get that up on the channel versus we had so much fun. I can't wait for that. And Amy says, I agree, Dustin. I want the Dr. Barry certification because of the name, and I know it was keto carnivore at the highest level. I did keto 7 years and now trying carnivore, so already an expert. Yeah. Lisa says, I'll get there one day, Papa. I just think my body is focusing on healing something else right now. And, and I mean, you just have to give yourself grace, Lisa. You have to understand that this is a one day at a time, one meal at a time type thing. Nothing is going to be like the same for everybody. So, I mean, really, it's one meal at a time. It's 1 hour at a time, one day at a time. And you just have to give yourself grace and just know that over time you'll love yourself. I mean, it just really does take work, though. And Lexus says not cured, but greatly reduced. And again, it's not going to happen in a day. It's going to take time. Thank you, Evelyn, for bringing up that for Cave Woman Diet's channel link there. And Papa Carnivore says, my humble opinion is I don't need to pay a lot of money for health coaching certification. I give free advice using my personal experience and knowledge to anyone who wants it. Yeah, and I agree. And I understand that. And that's what I've been doing for the last like 9 years, giving to people whether they wanted it or not. But I want to branch out, and I want to hopefully reach people who are looking for something, but they, and they need something structured. There's certain people will thrive off of structure, and I know that there's going to be people out there who aren't just going to go with anecdotal information. They want something with structure. They want something with something backing it up. And I know, it's going to take all kinds, and there's billions of people out there who need help, and I'm hopefully that I'll find those people. I mean, and my ultimate goal is to hopefully be able to work with companies to help businesses and their employees and things to where I can make money that way, where I can help individuals for little to nothing where possible. I just want to help as many people as I can, and that's my goal eventually. And Cable Medias says, thanks everyone. The support means a lot. Well, thank you. It means a lot to us that you're here today. It means a lot to me that you're here today. And Lisa says, my thoughts are pretty crazy. Don't even like going on walks. Just walking past houses, I feel like people will get me. I know that sounds crazy, but hey, I think being honest can help healing. Yeah. I mean, 100%. I think, you know who you are and your thoughts and your mind, and you kind of, you best, at least in that aspect. And you just know to start working on it, whether it's, you know, walk just a couple of houses down, they come back, and then tomorrow go 3 houses down, they come back, and then slowly work your way to it and just kind of get the feeling, because practice is going to make perfect. It's going to be okay. It's going to be better. Christian Delorme's in the house. Bonjour, everybody. Bonjour, bonjour. Thank you, Christian, for being here, my friend. I hope you're doing wonderful today. 45 minutes ago. And Lisa says, my doctors don't want me watching news anymore because it feeds my thoughts. I mean, watching the news is hard for all of us. It's just a rough thing. And Lexa says, at least I completely understand. I used to feel terrified walking through long hallways in apartment buildings because I was worried someone would jump out and grab me. Not anymore. And I love that all of you were so willing to share and be vulnerable and share your stories with each other, because especially in these trying times, we are working, and we think that we are so different from each other. And on some levels, we may be different from each other, but I think there's so much more in common that we have with each other than we could ever fathom. And it just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of kindness to realize that we are more alike than we are different. So, I really love that Lisa and Lexus and people are talking with each other and sharing their experiences, because we're really truly in this together. We really, really are. And we're all here trying to make the world a better place, make it healthier. Sonny's here. Good morning, Sonny. I'm glad you're here. Everyone's saying hello, hello. Papa Carnivore says, Lisa, I know the feeling. It sounds like the horrible anxiety I used to have. I didn't want to go outside, go shopping, because I thought everyone would be judging me, think there's something wrong with me. And again, Papa's here sharing his experiences and being vulnerable. And I think it's such a powerful testament to this lifestyle, this community, how we handle it, how we are so open and honest with each other. I truly think that this is one of those most amazing things that I've seen in a long time, and I love this. And I'm really glad you guys are sharing this information with each other. And Jaggy says, on the road again, I'm going to try and not comment. Luckily, I can listen to YouTube while driving without the screen on. Yeah, that's one of the best things about YouTube Premium is you can turn the screen off and listen. I usually just flip the phone upside down, because that way also I'm not going to get glare and blind myself. And she said, hopefully I'll get another room at the new house. Fantastic. And Aaron says, if you can stick to triple B&E for more than 30 days, you've already achieved way more than you thought you could. If you actually eat enough fat, you will not want to have the other things. And K Woman says, I'll never go back to sugar ever again. Well, we're here to help you no matter what. And she says, thanks for your support. You've been amazing. Well, thank you. And Lisa says, I blame the slow healing on the stupid gastric bypass I had in 2006. Yeah, I imagine that's just going to be one of those things where I think there's a lot of, there's absorption issues with vitamins and minerals and all that stuff. So hopefully over time you get that all dialed in. And K Woman said, yeah, Element was too salty, can't drink that one. Now, I mean, I found that Element is a very strong flavor. But you could mix it in with like a liter and a half of water, 2 liters of water, or whatever, and just have it. I think that's a lot better. But I like salty, and I don't think you can get that where you are. You're in the UK. Salty is a company local, well, not local, but they're in the United States, based out of Utah. Um, I wish you could have access to those because they have the same amount of sodium, roughly within a few milligrams, and I don't think they taste that salty at all. And JJ says, last year, I was so stressed out at work, I let it rule my life and gained a lot of weight. My goal this school year is to not do that. And we're here for you, JJ. We're here to listen, not judge. And Brian says, title list is food noise. 7 weeks on GLP-1, no food noise, no side effects, down 15 pounds. That's fantastic, Brian. I'm really happy and excited for you. Um, and I hope that it continues to go well for you. I want nothing but the best. Yeah, food noise is very difficult for a lot of us. And I think I think food noise is one of the biggest issues that most of us run into. Carnivore, keto, whatever, because the food noise is there. I mean, I don't see a lot of commercials. We don't watch a lot of TV with commercials. But I mean, I see ads, I see social media, I see, we go to the grocery store, I see all the food that's there. There's always like the cart back in the dairy section by the eggs of where that's where they are at my Walmart, with all the marked down donuts and cakes and this, that, and the other. And Jackie says that I don't ever want to feel that I'm in a perfect place in my life. Dale Earnhardt felt that right before the race at Daytona. I know several people that thought they had reached their perfect place in life, voiced it, and they are no longer with us. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever want to be perfect. I just want to be where I'm supposed to be. Amy says, that's what deters me is how awful I feel. I can't walk for weeks. If I eat something bad over time, it has gotten easier to say no because I can be grounded from walking. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I don't, and I mean, this just kind of goes to show like how things impact individuals. That's how important the N=1 really is. And Lisa says, I've been doing the high fat Papa. I'm not going to give up. I don't know. I do know I'm worth it. So right there is a plus. I've just never thought I deserved happiness. And I mean, everybody deserves happiness. But we have to understand that one of the most important, I think, things that we need to learn is that happiness is fleeting. Like, I'm happy sometimes I'm not happy, and that's okay. But I'm always content. I always know that I have a good life. I know that I'm a good person. I know I have amazing people in my life. But I don't chase happiness. I just chase being content. I guess that would be a way to put it. And Jackie says I only do half packs of Element. Yeah, Element's rough sometimes. And Cable Woman says I was sitting here every night binging on sugar. I was damaging my health. I would eat every night for a long time to where I almost felt like I was going to burst. I would eat my food like whatever I was having for dinner, whether it was macaroni and cheese or whatever it was. And I would like literally eat so much food I thought I was going to burst. And then when that kind of would subside a little bit, I would go, well, I guess it's time for ice cream. That was every night for a while. And I mean, it was rough. So rough. Karen Harrington's in the house. Good morning, Karen. Thank you for joining us, dear. And Papa says, with your Lisa, with your gastric bypass, you'll need to eat more smaller meals to get the nutrition and fat. No biggie, just a small adjustment. Don't blame yourself if you did what you thought was right. And I mean, that's what they were selling everybody was gastric bypass. A lot of people in our community have been there, done that, have gastric bypass, and it didn't do what was promised. Again, they were making your stomach smaller or whatever it is, so you couldn't eat as much. But then but they never worked on how to eat correctly. And I know that there are programs with the gastric bypass once you've had the surgery and such. And I know that there's a protocol that's kind of close to keto, at least what it seems. But it's just one of those, but it doesn't quite stick because then you've cut out and it's hard to keep your nutrition up. And Papa says that at least everyone deserves to be happy and loved. Yes, 100%. And Aaron says a lot of times you have to really believe in yourself, not eat those bad things. And I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, even, like understand like what triggers you, whether it's extreme stress, what kind of stress, just being frustrated can kind of trigger things. It's just, you have to get to learn to know yourself. And Lisa says, thank you so much. I know I sound like a needy baby. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not a single little bit. I think it's so very valuable to have you here to kind of talk about this because you are feeling this way. You are openly talking about this way with us, Lisa. And there may be somebody who watches this tomorrow who feels the exact same way. And they're going to go, okay, you know what? I'm not alone. Lisa feels this way too. And these people were telling her how to do it. Well, maybe that might help me too. So never, ever feel like you're being a baby or whining when you are talking about who you are and what you're feeling. And Cave Woman says sugar is an alcohol too. So it's all, well, alcohol is a form of sugar. And alcohol is the number one sugar, the one that the body will process first, obviously. But I mean, and obviously a lot of the alcohols have sugar in them as well to make them sweeter. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, very much when you're dealing with replacing one addiction for another. Like I quit smoking cigarettes in 2010 and I really started hitting the coffee hard. So my coffee habit is out of stopping smoking, which I think is a very good trade. Quit smoking cigarettes and started drinking coffee, which weirdly enough at the time, how much cigarettes were here versus where they are now. Cigarettes were about $5 a pack then, a little less than $5 a pack. This is 2010, so we're looking at 15 years ago. And I was paying like $2.50 a cup for coffee. So I basically started paying more for coffee than I was, or roughly the same. So it wasn't really a cost benefit. But coffee is a savior for me. And Lexus says, no, you don't, Lisa. Trust me, I needed so much help in the beginning. And we're all here to support you 100,000%. I can't express this enough. And Lisa says, you have been told you're so honest. And I took that as, let's see, well, I've been told you're so honest. And I took that as shut up. No, never. Always feel free to speak however you want to about speak to yourself about yourself in this forum. I'm not going to tell anybody to shut up here. Sean's in the house. He says, good morning, all listening in while breaking camp and getting ready to head back home. I hope your camping was great, Sean. You and Shell, I hope you had a great day. And Papa Carnivore says, this is the type of support from other carnivores in our community is essential. I couldn't have gone as far as I did, and I succeed without the support. As far as I did and succeed without the support and community, 100%. And Amy says, I'm 14 days carnivore today. I'm still exhausted all the time, but it feels like might be getting better. I was able to wake up early this week. Last 2 weeks, I couldn't get out of bed. Oh my goodness. Why, we're here for you, Amy. 100%. Andy says, Lisa, we are in a community for a reason. You are having trouble. You're in a safe space here. 1000%. And Steph says, I watched that Kelly Hogan with the three ladies. It seemed like they wanted to lose the last pound, so they realized it was a huge mistake for them. I think that kind of comes into it, and I think that's one reason I'm always very adamant about the fact that the scale shouldn't be a driving factor for us. And I know that a lot of times the scale is what drives us to this community. The scale is what kind of gets us thinking about this type of thing. The scale is so very important to us, how much we weigh, but it's really just a vanity number. And I think it's detrimental to a lot of people looking at the scale. I think that it's wonderful when it's going down, 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 but then when it pops, you start second guessing yourself. You start worrying, are you doing it right? What am I doing wrong? What could I be doing better? And sure, that's some of that here and there might be valuable, but realistically, checking your weight every day is not important. I think there's better ways to measure progress, whether you're measuring yourself, whether you're being, consistent with your diet. How do you feel? There's so many ways to measure success that how much you're impacted by gravity shouldn't be one of them. But I know that's easier said than done for most of us because we have been taught our entire lives to live and die by the scale. And I just want people to know that it's okay to put the scale away. It's okay to just hide it from yourself because it's really not important. It doesn't give you value. It doesn't even tell you the whole truth. You could be stepping on that scale every day and gain weight every day, but that doesn't mean you're gaining fat. That doesn't mean you're not losing fat. You have to remember, especially when you're switching to a carnivore lifestyle, you're eating far more protein you've probably eaten anywhere else in your any other time in your life. So your body's building itself up. It's restoring its natural structure. It's adding muscle mass, not like bodybuilders necessarily, but if you've been protein deficient for a long time, you've been, not fully there. It's rebuilding you and it's going to add weight. Because it's not the weight that's the problem. It's how much, fat or how you feel. And I think that we focus so much on the scale that we lose track. We lose touch with what we're doing is beneficial, regardless of what the scale says. So that's one thing that I truly worry about. And Papa Carnivore is asking me if she's tried to cut back on the pots of caffeinated coffee yet. I don't know. I only have one coffee experience a day, usually just one of these a day, which is a lot of caffeine. But I gotta have some. And K says that I don't have the food noise anymore, so that's definitely a game changer. Yeah. Once you start kind of getting into understanding your own satiety, like once you start figuring out that you can eat and your body just generally knows when to stop, it's such a huge thing. It's so very valuable. It's like something that takes almost like a lifetime to get to. Then once you get there, you're like, oh my goodness, I never thought it would be this easy because we've been taught to eat all this grain, these carbs, and you can eat a whole bag of chips and a box of crackers and just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and you just never feel satiated. You start focusing on the fat and the protein, and whether you're having a little bit of veggies or you're having some berries or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever path you're on, you start understanding satiety. Finding finding and healing that satiety signaling is paramount. Put the scale away, work on satiety, and I think you'll be a lot better off overall for all of us. Like our trash can in our bathroom sits on top of the scale. I don't even care. I barely I don't ever weigh I don't care because I know that if I do, it's probably gonna discourage me anyway. So I just do what I need to do. And Andy said, "This community is why I started my channel. We are all searching for something." Yeah. And Lisa's telling Lexi that Alexis, that you give me so much hope. You're giving me so much hope in my brain recovering 100%. And I love all of you sharing your stories, being candid and open and heartfelt. It's just truly amazing. And Amy says that she's working on the coffee, but she's addicted and struggling 100%. And Lisa says, I won't take the medicine they want me to take. I don't trust myself with the meds. And that's a huge step. That's a huge thing you have to understand about yourself because I don't think anybody can help you with that but you. We can be here to support you, but you know who you are better than any of us. It's probably, especially when that how that goes. And Aaron says, I wonder if Amy's tired because of oxalate dumping. I think she's been tired prior to this. I think that's why she's really trying the carnivore diet to begin with. Bacon Baby's asking Amy if you eat enough. And Lexus has said that I'm good to Lisa. It's all work in progress, and I think things are going to get better and better for you on carnivore. Yeah, especially after hearing Lexus's if I could talk, Lexus's story on Thomas's channel a couple weeks ago. It's just truly amazing to see what people are able to do for themselves, and it's just truly inspiring. And maybe telling Peter that that feeling better this week as far as energy, the morning, but still need to cut back on coffee. Been very hard. Yeah, yeah, cut back very slowly. Because if I bet you're drinking 10 plus cups a day. One cup less should be, yeah, 1 cup less a day. And Amy talking to Bacon Baby, I am trying to eat as much as possible. This exhaustion was happening on keto, which is why I went carnivore. It seems to be better this week, but not 100. But I can get out of bed. And Sean says, if you are willing to travel, look at an event, lowcarbevents.com. Going to meetups and conferences will change your life. Meeting all these incredible people is a game changer. Yeah, 100%. And I wish some of the carnivore events were showing up on lowcarbevents.com, and maybe they do or don't know about it. But a lot of these events don't show up on there, and I wish they would. So like I think like Carrie Mann's thing isn't showing up there. There's a lot of other meetups aren't showing up there. I wish they would. I wish they would all. So all of you that are out there that are working with a lot of the carnivore channels and stuff that have these events, make sure they know about lowcarbevents.com, just because that opens another channel to bring more people into their meetups, more places for people to find it. And I know it's not, and I don't know if they'll look down on it because it's not carnivoremeetups.com or whatever, but lowcarbevents.com, I think it's so important to have a singular place for all the events possible so we can find them and know what's in our areas. And thank you for that, Sean. And Bryce Business says, unless you experience it live with Addict, it isn't possible to truly understand it. Oceans between moderators, those struggling with cravings, true addicts. Yeah. Peter said, I used to drink 1 to 2 pots of coffee a day. This is how I did it. I just figure the process of my own way. So I used to drink coffee all day when I was at work. I had a 20-ounce cup that I would fill up all the time. I would just drink regular pot coffee, just regular from the pot. So I'd probably have 3 or 4 of those, which was probably still not as strong as one of these. Because I mean, this is 5 shots of espresso. So that's probably not good for me. But it keeps me on track for the most part. Yeah, Peter's telling Amy to make sure she's eating enough food. And Evelyn is putting up the lowcarbevents.com link for everybody to keep. It's always good to check it because I know we'll be updating soon. We'll be doing a meetup in November. I want to say it's November the 8th here in Indiana. I believe that's the date, something like that. And Sean says, PSA, Coach Bronson and Coach Nat are having an event in DC area on September the 20th. Ash Taylor's in the house. Good morning, Miss Taylor. That video of you and Chris the other day dancing in the rain was amazing. It was so heartfelt. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And Jackie said, I had a come to Jesus moment the other day when my husband described me as carnivore only when I want to be. I was like, WTF. Okay, it's time to jump back on the bandwagon and be strict. And JJ kind of has the same set of means. I don't think any specific diet can make you love yourself. I went from 375 to 262, and I'm now 330. My reflection in the mirror never changed in my eyes. I'm the same way. I kind of feel the same way. Like, it's just, when I feel better, it's easier to love myself. When you feel like crap and you can't get out of bed, or you feel like crap and you don't feel like doing anything and you don't feel like being a part of the world, it's just so much harder. But, now like the wife and I were talking about going and doing pickleball, and we go pickleballs on Wednesday and about playing it more. And when our granddaughter goes back to school, we're talking about going and doing things like just she and I going to the pool, trying to be more active. That's the kind of thing that I think helps us a lot. When you start feeling better, you start wanting to be more active. And being active helps. And Nan is here. Good morning, Nan. I'm glad to see you. And Lexus says I'm addicted to Moose Tracks. Yeah, well, there was this Moose Tracks Denali ice cream that Kroger had. It was like just chunks and chunks of thick chocolate fudge. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And we would eat so much of it. So much of it. Oh my goodness. Sean used to love Moose Tracks. Lexus said some flavored pork rinds have maltodextrin, so be careful and check ingredients. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, because any kind of the flavorings, a lot of the flavorings that they use, the flavoring itself is kind of sprayed onto maltodextrin and then powdered, and then that's sprinkled onto the pork rinds. So you need to be careful with that. I don't think like good pork rinds utilizes that. And I don't know, Lexus, if you were in Minnesota, I don't know if you can find Pork and Good pork rinds, but they're based out of Wisconsin, and I can get them here in Indiana. We can buy them at our Walmart. I don't know if you can check your Walmart for Pork and Good, but I don't think they use maltodextrin in their flavorings, but I could be wrong. But it's just definitely something to look at. Yeah, and Steph is exactly right. It's a journey out of diet. We're all here on this journey. We're all here trying to figure things out for ourselves. And it's not a today or tomorrow thing. It's the rest of my life thing. I've got a lot to figure out, and I've got hopefully enough time to do it. And he said, we ate keto chow pistachio ice cream without sardines last night, Amy. And Charlie says, the guy's A1C 5.4, no longer needs to inject himself with insulin, but he's in a gym lifting weights like a committed part-time job. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. And Aaron says, I identified myself as being or having an alcohol problem after being alcohol free for 2.5 years. I love carnivore. I love it. Yeah, it's just one of those things that's just the thing that you just can't. That stuff is just not meant to be moderated, you know? And Ash says she's proud to say that she's 3 years sober. I quit drinking when I started keto, and it changed my life. I'm a better version of myself. And we love you, Ash. You're the best version of yourself, and we love you, and we're glad you're here. And your little dog, too. And Lexus says she's 3 years sober, too. That's fantastic. I love that. Bacon Baby is talking to JJ. Keto carnivore is more lifestyle than diet. Yeah, we know that 100%. People are saying hello. Tuber chats in the house. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. An hour ago, I'm a little behind. And Lexa says I can't have sucralose because it triggers psychosis. Also, diet sodas makes my sugar cravings worse. Yeah, it's just figuring that stuff out takes time and finding out what does what. Thumbs up and share to Reddit. Thank you, Tuber Chat. I appreciate you so very much. I really, really, really do. All these great people. Kevin from Tuber Chat. I struggle with names sometimes. I'm trying to do better. Gigi says, I've been back on track for about 45 days. Right now, I'm probably about 90-10 carnivore, ketovore, feeling a lot better. Non-scale victory is I'm up walking about 1.25 miles in 30 minutes. Fantastic. I love it. People are saying hello to each other. Charlie says, I'll say that on a carnivore diet, a lot less comes out the back end compared to the front end. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is I think that that's where, that's just, but part of what I ask is a lot of people talk about that stuff. So I'm always curious. Sunny with 5 gifted Keto Simple memberships to Michelle, Poker Ace, Wizzy, JSMP, Jen, and L Strange. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonny. I truly appreciate you. If you're still here, thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all those. And Alexis says, my house manager is growing cantaloupe and watermelon in our backyard, strawberries and potatoes too. And Charlie says, candy never triggered me, but rather it was breads, pastas, chips, popcorn. That's how I am. Like chips, dip, all that stuff. I loved it. Loved it. Even now, I still struggle sometimes. Popcorn. I love popcorn. My buddy Chris has been working so hard. He's got so many irons on the fire. Oh, I had to tell Ash the other day, I was like, make sure Chris doesn't work so hard. She goes, you know what? I gave him the day off. And I was like, that's so sweet. I love Chris and Ash so much. And I love all you guys. You guys are all a part of this community, this family. And, this really means a lot to me. You guys are here. I love it. And Chris is saying hello to beautiful people. I love it. And my buddy Jeremiah is in the house. Good morning, Jeremiah. How are you and the wife and the kids? Hope they're doing good. Oh. And Aaron says, great discussion, Dustin. Have a great day. Bye, everyone. Well, thank you. Thank you, Aaron Booby Goats, for being here. Charlie is going to go get a few games of racquetball. Thanks, Dustin. Bye, everybody. Thank you. You're so welcome. Thanks for being here. And Jackie says, yeah, Niles north or south, north of South Bend. I didn't mean the dispenser is evil in general. I just thought that was weird that all the things that do in the town are now gone. Yeah, I'm just, it's always curious to me about that kind of stuff. Like, what was happening to them? Were they profitable? Was it just cheaper to sell? Was it a better deal to sell? I don't know. So are there dispensaries in Indiana? Or is it north of South Bend? So just north, so like on the Michigan side of things, or yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I tell you, one of the hardest things is building a channel. I mean, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of work, and but it's so very rewarding to be able to have these lives and have people show up and just reaching and connecting to people. You're a person who lives in the UK. How would I have the opportunity? I have people in here from Australia, from Canada. I mean, people from all over the world. We were Cindy had Dave Mack on the other night, and he lives in Japan. I mean, we're just people all over the world. It's amazing that here you are from the UK tuning in and hanging out with us. Jackie says, "Oops, Dustin, I forgot. Got to go join the Misfits. All right, have a great day." Susan is now awake. All right, Susan. Love you, Susan. I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Happy Sunday. And Cable said, just uploading my day-to-day journey, basically talking about the different things I'm experiencing. And that's the best thing you can do. Just showcase what's going on. Yeah, and Evelyn's asking what your name is because we've been calling you by your name. Meet lover girl. She's asking what her real name is. She may not want to share that. Oh, Helen. Okay, yeah, her name is Helen. It's just nice to know names of people so we can say, hey, Helen, good to meet you. Oh, my goodness. Jerry's here. Welcome, Jerry. You're so sweet. Gifted 5 Keto Simple memberships. I truly appreciate that. Went to Lori, Brian Doyle, Mighty Healthy Michelle, Sandy Blythe, and Aaron, my buddy Aaron, good friend Aaron, who lives up in Illinois, I believe. He's a fun guy. I've met him before. He's not a mushroom, but he is a fun guy. So Helen said that my eating addiction went so bad 6 years ago, where my granddad died. It was something a few years after he passed. Now I'm only getting myself back to myself and now concentrating on my health. Yeah. And we're glad you're here. And Jerry says, it's my 5-month anniversary on the channel. Happy Sunday. Good morning. I love it. Becky's here. Good morning, Becky. Yeah, thank you for supporting us, Jerry. We love you. And Jerry said that she thought Maria Emmerich had a good video yesterday. Is that the video she was talking about her nose? I'm not sure if I understand. They call it transfer addiction, says Helen. I don't think I've heard that term before. It's better to measure than to weigh. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, weight is a definite tool. A scale's a tool. Measuring tape's a tool. How we feel is a tool. I just think we just need to make sure that we're not allowing any one of those things to devastate us into quitting or causing us to quit. And Jerry said, next Saturday, I will take my sister to our first carnivore meetup in Montello, Wisconsin at Carrie Mann's Theater. That'll be fun. I wish I could be there, but I just won't be able to make it. And Becky says that coffee has antioxidants, so it must be good. Does it have electrolytes? Because that's what plants crave. Mm. Shelly, my dear. Hello, Shelly. Hi, friends. I'm so late. Ended up waking up around 1 a.m. and couldn't fall back asleep until almost 3. Had to sleep in, but I'll definitely watch the replay. Well, Shelly, we love you and thank you for being here, my dear. Everyone's saying hello to more people. And Rex, it's still going. I see. We don't go as hard as you do, but we are here. Some days we go 2 hours, some days we go 3 hours, some days we go 3.5 hours, sometimes we go 45 minutes. One never knows. And Rick's like, why would anyone flavor a pork rind? Because flavoring is delicious sometimes. Okay, so this is weird when it comes to porking good pork rinds. I love the flavor of the sour cream and onion, but for some reason, the texture of the white cheddar ones is always more fluffy. It doesn't make any sense. They're the exact same pork rinds, but like for some reason, the white cheddar ones are fluffy and the sour cream and onion ones are more crunchy. But they're the same pork rinds with just flavoring differences. So I don't know. Have you noticed that one before? Have you noticed that at all? But welcome back, Mr. Quack Quack. Rick says, I may be the only person here who has never been drunk. I don't drink, smoke, or mate. Well, I mean, you got to live a little bit, Rick. You got to have some experiences in life. I mean, you know, can't go through life and not experience anything. Naomi Jones is in the house. Hello, going to be trying my creamy out for the first time today. The major ceiling cave. Since the major ceiling cave in my kitchen. Oh my goodness. That's right. Well, I'm glad that that's all taken care of and good luck with the creamy. And Andy is making 90-second carnivore biscuits and sausage gravy with the keto chow. That's what's for breakfast this morning. Oh my goodness, that sounds fantastic. And obviously, Andy is telling Chris that she loves the recipe for the 90-second bread. And yeah, Lois is here. Good morning, Lois. How are we doing, buddy? Glad to see you. And Rebecca is here. Thank you for joining us, Rebecca. Truly appreciate you. Yes, yes, yes. And Rick says, well, I bounce from stream to stream. But do you ever cross the streams? They say you're not supposed to until you're fighting Zool. Then it's okay. JJ says, speaking of flavored pork rinds, last night, well, it's not doing what I wanted to do. Last night I used a recipe to make some with butter, monk fruit, and cinnamon. Turned out pretty good. Yeah, we would do that at the beginning of our keto. I would shake them up and make like cinnamon toast ones. They were pretty good. And Ash is saying that she's glad that you love that, Andy, and I love it too. I still haven't had a chance to try it. I gotta get all the ingredients. I just haven't had a chance to know all the ingredients because I want to buy the mold too. And yeah, I saw that video. Maria Emmerich video about the rhinoplasty was the day before yesterday. She got real and raw and spoke about starting to gain weight. And it's very emotional for her. So does she want to gain weight? I need to go back and watch. I need to go watch that video because every time I've ever met her and hugged her, I always felt like I'm going to crush her. And I know she's strong. I know she's not, not strong. She's a strong woman, but like she's little and I'm afraid I'm going to hurt her. You know what I mean? And ceiling is still not closed yet. It's just so hot in here. Oh my goodness. That's got to be terrible. So she wants to gain weight. That's okay. I mean, she's just so little. And I wasn't sure if that's where she wanted to be. I mean, I don't know like what her body fat percentage is and what's optimal for a person. But I mean, I imagine that I'm speaking out of school here, but I would imagine that for a woman, a low body fat, as low as a body fat percentage as she has, probably doesn't do her any justice for like hormonal issues. But I mean, that's me speaking out of school. I'm not but that's just from what I understand from information that I've heard along the way, living this lifestyle and paying attention to all of the streams and everybody talking. But yeah. Oh, 2.5 hours hanging out with my friends. And he said, I had extra molds and gave some away to our help meetup. We made 30 of the biscuits so we could have them all to our. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just going to get like a thing of 4 and I was going to get some other things, trying to get all the ingredients and make it because Chris was like, you got to make it. I just haven't been able to afford the ingredients. So much other stuff going on all the time. Mm. And like that, the coffee is gone. Why is the coffee always gone? But so glad you're all here today. And I can't stress that enough. I think we've had a wonderful, wonderful turnout today. Great conversation, really open, candid, loving conversation, supportive. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I just want to say thank you all so much for being with me today. Andy and Jerry, and thank Jerry and Sonny for the gifted memberships and for Helen for being new here all the way from the UK, 3 p.m. there this afternoon. I have some friends that are from the UK. They're old gentlemen now. So my friends in the rock and roll rowdies, they're from Hartlepool. I don't know how far you are from Hartlepool. But my friends Granny, Wilco, Mal, and they're good friends of mine, and I'll be doing a live stream with them Monday afternoon at 5, talking about the 40th anniversary of Live Aid, because they were there. I can't remember which one it was. I want to think it was Mal or Granny who was. It might have been Mal who was the tour manager, right hand man for I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but anyway, yeah. Element and Country or L&M Country are in the house. Thank you for being here. Truly appreciate you. Rebecca's from South Africa. I love it. I love it. We got the UK, we got South Africa, we got Canada in the house today. I love it, love it, love it. Becky says, I haven't figured out the 90-second bread with my microwave yet. It usually comes out undercooked, where it's wet inside, or overcooked and burnt. Oh my goodness. Maybe it could even come down to placement in the microwave. The off center might be better than in the middle or whatever. We need to probably figure that out. But yeah, so I'll be doing that live stream. I'll be on the Rock and Roll Rowdies channel on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about the 40th anniversary of Live Aid and all the fun that went down with that. Um, yeah. So anyway, I appreciate you all so much for being here. Oh, I love all of you. It's been 2.5 hours. Think I'm going to call it a day. I'm out of coffee. Another sip of water. Oh, before I forget, I don't think we're going to be doing a Tuesday live. We may do Thursday live this week. We'll have to wait and see. Um, we'll be going to a funeral Tuesday afternoon and lunch with with a family friend, and then Tuesday night, one of Chandra's sisters will be in town, so we'll be having dinner with her. So we won't be going live Tuesday. We've just got too much going on. So be on the lookout for us to set that up. Well, as soon as I figure out with Chandra when we do that, we might do it Monday. We might do it tomorrow night. I don't know. Is tomorrow the 21st? Yeah, tomorrow I will be. So tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, find me on the Rock and Roll Rowdies channel. I will be hanging out with the Roll Rowdies, which is Granny, Wilco, Mao, and all those, and Brian from That 70s Rock Fan, talking about the 40th anniversary of Live Aid, which was actually earlier in the month, but Brian got his scheduling mixed up and the dates mixed up. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Love you guys. And thank you so much, Lisa, Evelyn, everybody. You guys are amazing. Thank you for having a wonderful conversation with me. If you want to hear the fantastic conversation that we had today, go back and watch the replay. Anyway, I love you all. And here are those credits.